back inside Rexall Place, everyone, as we get set for the final meeting of the season between the Oilers and the Sabres. Before we get to the puck drop, let's meet the starting goaltenders. Ben Scrivens makes his 32nd start of the season. His last start was January 15th against Tampa. And at the other end, 26-year-old Jonas Enroth has a career-high 11 wins. The problem is that 11th win came back on December the 27th. He is 0-5 in the month of January, but that number is just a part of the struggles for the Buffalo Sabres.
It's a tough year for the Buffalo Sabres. And all they can do now is just play hard for the end and try to find a job. I mean, that's what these players are out there for. Everybody knows that their future is on the line, so they're going to go hard.
The second straight game, the Oilers are without Taylor Hall. Benoit Pouliot takes his place on that line with Nugent Hopkins and Everly as the game is underway. Klefbom and Schultz on the blue line. Ryan Gianta back in the lineup for the Buffalo Sabres. He missed 13 games with a concussion. He is with Mitchell and Flynn. These teams hooked up November 7th in Buffalo. The Oilers won that by the score of 3-2. Buffalo coming off a 4-1 loss in Calgary on Tuesday. The Oilers dropping that 2-1 decision to the Minnesota Wild here at Rexall on a game-winning goal that might be a top 10 goal by Charlie Coyle.
It was something special.
The Sabres, well documented, a 12-game losing streak, a franchise record losing streak on the road that has reached 12 games as well. Nicky goes up the middle for Hendricks, a diving attempt to get the puck over to Klinkhammer. He lets a shot go and is blocked before it can get through by Andre Mesros. Payne keeps it on the far side. Klinkhammer behind the net. Rob Klinkhammer. To the corner it goes. Hendricks over to get it. He'll play it to Gordon. It gets by him. And it's picked up by Zemgus Girgensons. Girgensons with Ennis and Molson. Matt Molson to Ristolainen. Ristolainen is stopped at the blue line by Boyd Gordon. Zemgus Girgensson, we talked to him today. He thought that maybe the NHL website had been hacked. He was getting so many votes. There's not that many people in Latvia. Here's a giveaway. Teddy Purcell. His shot goes just wide.
Shoot that thing, Teddy. You want to get that puck on the net as early as possible, but Tyson Strachan made a nice play with his stick.
The former Sabre, Derek Roy, on the ice right now as Cody Hodgson moves in, snaps his shot, and Scrivens makes his first save of the hockey game. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by Ford, the official automotive partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, a general statement, execute the Edmonton Oilers. What does that mean? Be quick to pucks, quick tape-to-tape passes, right decision through the neutral zone, take the puck to the net, and hit the net when you have the opportunity. Some of the details. For Ted Nolan's team, some early energy. When things are going bad, you need some early energy to keep that positive attitude up. You can always control your energy, and the Buffalo Sabres need that in this game.
Teddy Purcell playing his 450th game in the National Hockey League. He asked us this morning, well, does that make me a veteran? Yeah, it does. Josh Georges is also a veteran. He is playing in his 600th game tonight. Rob Klinkhammer, a shot right on. And Roth steers that aside. It was Michael Neuwirth and Victor Frost who were the goalies of record the last time these teams met. Hendrick's shot doesn't get through. Strachan blocks that.
Another block by Strachan.
Ryan Flynn will backhand it in. Gianta going after it against the captain, Andrew Ferentz. Ferentz gets there first, pinned against the board by Gianta. Torrey Mitchell trying to help out, wraps it around. Here's Myers with a shot, and he scores. Torrey Mitchell set it up. And the big man, Tyler Myers, gets his second goal of the season. And the Sabres are on the board.
Well, there's some of that early energy that we talked about for their key to the game. The Buffalo Sabres have advantage in the net. They get a great chance. There's a super chance. Enroth makes the save, and then coming the other way, the Sabres start bringing the puck up. You've got everybody jumping in. Torrey Mitchell, he can skate. He can get to pucks. They've got a good forecheck going with Gianta. Mitchell gets in there to help, and just a hard-working, determined effort. And everybody seems to get a little puck focus for the Edmonton Oilers. You get a little puck focus, you miss those guys coming in. Tyler Myers read it perfectly. That's good work by Gianta and Mitchell behind the net.
Tyler Myers is an Alberta boy. He's from Calgary, and he gets his team on the board, 2:22 into the first period.
The assist to number 17, Torrey Mitchell.
Buffalo Sabres don't score many goals. In fact, just 1.75 is their average.
The Sabres in
the league, and you'll hear that a lot when we talk about the Buffalo Sabres. They are dead last in a lot of categories.
Let's go back to the goal. It's super work behind the net. Being in first in the forecheck. Brian Giunta can still skate. He gets in first, he battles. Torrey Mitchell's going to go help. Third man slides up high, but as the Oilers get a little puck focused, everybody starts looking at the puck. Tyler Myers slides in. Good pass out to him. And Tyler Myers wastes no time. Sometimes you got to come back into your zone, stop, turn, and find the guys who are farthest away from the puck because they may be the most dangerous.
He is a big target, too. 6'8", 219 pounds. Stafford looking for Cody Hodgson in front, but instead it is Derek Roy going back the other way. Yakupov shot, and a pad save by Enroth. For Derek Roy, his third career game against the team that drafted him. Puck bomb, slap pass, Yakupov. It was blocked by Mazzaros. And the Sabres come away. Drew Stafford moving in against Schultz. Schultz using the stick a la Jeff Petrie. Broke it up, and Gazdic back the other way for the Oilers. Gazdic with a shot, and that one goes off Mazzaros. Gazdic retrieves. Lander cutting for the front of the net. He is out there with Matt Fraser. Fraser trying to keep it in, back to the point. The Keaton with it now. He'll backhand it towards the net. It's blocked. There's a spinorama backhand by Gazdic. Good play by Fayne to keep it in for Lander. Lander is checked. Hodgson gets the puck out to center. Fayne will shoot it right back in, but a good shift for the Lander line. Ristolainen fires a long shot in on Scrivens. Kaleta behind the net. Patrick Kaleta with Ellis out in front. This is the fourth line for the Buffalo Sabres. The Oilers like this matchup as they got their best line out there. Eberle, Nugent Hopkins, and Pouliot. Puck in the corner. There is Josh Gorges playing in his 600th game, as we mentioned.
Saw Josh play his first game with the San Jose Sharks. Undrafted player and a very good one.
Myers down low. Mitchell in there to try and help him out. Petrie digging for it as well. Tough to get it off the big man. Now it's kicked. Myers gets it. Pass intercepted, intended for Mitchell, and it comes to Pouliot. Pouliot quickly to Eberle. Petrie joining the rush. Eberle given a hit. Giunta back the other way for Torrey Mitchell. Nugent Hopkins spins to get away from number 17. Plays it off the boards to Eberle. Eberle gets the puck out to center. And Drew, you're very familiar with Torrey Mitchell.
Yeah.
His time in San Jose.
Torrey Mitchell, really good kid. When he came to San Jose Sharks, he was, along with Devin Setaguchi, taken under the wing by Jeremy Roenick, and it really helped him his first couple of years in the National Hockey League. Suffered a terrible leg break early in his career, but he's rebounded and he still has that speed, and that's why he's going to be an effective player.
Danny Purcell for Derek Roy. Roy trying to get it back to him, but it is Ennis who picks it off. The Edmonton native, Tyler Ennis, chips it in. Gets there ahead of number 63. Purcell with it now. Up the middle for Derek Roy. Roy across the blue line. Roy stops. Then he lets a shot go. Enroth got a piece of that, steered it to the near side. Pitching in is Schultz. Schultz with a nice move, gets tripped up. Play continues. It is Purcell from the corner as that puck gets gloved ahead, but no call.
The Oilers are thinking about shooting. They're trying to get shots. Some good blocks by the Buffalo Sabres. Earlier, Nail Yakupov trying to get open. Snaps his stick on the ice, a little bit of a beaver tail. Gets a nice pass, but it gets blocked to the net. Another good opportunity going to the front of the net. Luke Gazdic. He just turns. He just outmuscles his man in front. That's Andre Mazzaros who blocked the shot, but Gazdic able to get a stick down and get a good chance on net. So you're seeing guys go to the net, be near the net. I gotta see if you can get that puck past those guys who are blocking all those shots.
Remember the last time these teams played, the Oilers fired 52 shots at Michael Neuburg. 52-31 was the final count in that 3-2 game. Stewart. He gets stopped. The puck comes free, and it's picked up by Drew Stafford. Cody Hodgson. It is teammate with the pass, and Nugent Hopkins starts back the other way. Takes a hit from Gorges, separates him from his stick.
May have been almost a worse hit. That was coming close to being a knockout.
Eberle with the puck now. Eberle trying to get a shot away. Kaleta came in there and broke that up. Nugent Hopkins from the corner. Nugent Hopkins goes to Pouliot. Dishes to Eberle. Eberle works it all the way back to Petrie. Petrie goes cross ice and a sharp angle one-timer. That didn't work from the captain, Ferentz. Petrie's got it again. Petrie goes behind the back for Eberle. Gets it again from number 14. They play catch. Here's Eberle cutting for the net. It was broken up by the veteran Gorges. Georges. The Sabres want to get the puck down the ice. And not that way, though, and it's going to be an icing call.
This is the Sports Select Legends statistician. He knows the numbers, and the numbers start with a $.
Get your game on with Sports Select.
Boyd Gordon out there to take the draw. He had the game winner back on November 7th. Klinkhammer's shot rises over top of the net. Petrie picks it up on the far side. He'll go behind the cage for Gordon. Gets it to Klinkhammer. Rob Klinkhammer to Boyd Gordon. Gordon being watched by Myers. Sheds him off. Goes to the front of the net. Trying to jam it home. The puck squirts free.
Oh, big penalty in front. Tyler Myers just takes down Rob Klinkhammer. There's not really much to disguise on that penalty.
When we come back, the Oilers on the power play here against the Sabres.
Welcome back. One thing we need to do is play Safeway's $1 million score and win. If any Oilers player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, Larry Holloway of Edmonton could win $1 million. Shop at Safeway and you could be our next lucky winner right here on Sportsnet.
Tyler Myers. Now I'll let you decide at home whether you think there's a penalty or not. Gene, I don't know. What do you think? Tyler Myers used Klinkhammer, 57 Myers. Wow, they're calling that nowadays?
Tyler Myers now leads this game in sacks. He has one.
Getting ahead of the Super Bowl.
Oilers were 0 for 2 in Buffalo. They go to the man advantage for the first time in this hockey game. We're 0 for 3 against Minnesota on Tuesday.
This is where the Oilers can really capitalize. This penalty kill has not been very good all year long, and during this losing streak, it's been just downright bad.
Well, we talked about the number 30 and the Buffalo Sabres, 30th in penalty kill and 30th on the road.
In this stretch, these last 11 games anyway, they've allowed a goal in, at least one goal in 10 of them.
Pouliot with the puck now. He'll drop it back for Schultz. Around the boards it goes. Flynn getting there ahead of Schultz. Now it comes free, and Mitchell will send it down the ice.
That's a nice little play. Torrey Mitchell's a good penalty killer, so he just sets up in the middle, lets his guys go to work in the corner. A little breakout, soft little breakout play to the middle. Down the ice it goes.
Schultz taking stock as the power play changes personnel. Anton Lander with Derek Roy. Yakupov joins them as well, along with Matt Fraser. And we saw Matt Fraser this morning. He can shoot the puck.
It's something else. And Todd Nelson talked about, you know what, we know he can shoot the puck. What we got to get him doing is playing a little bit better on both sides of the puck, getting after the puck, getting chances on the forecheck. A little bit of a traffic jam there.
It's second down and 7 after that plunge into the pile.
Todd Nelson adding to Fraser, we know the goals will come. We just got to get him in a situation where he's playing an all-round better game, and those goals will come.
Anton Lander. Cross-ice pass intended for Roy, didn't work. Weber gets it to the blue line, but no further. Great play by Yakupov to keep it in, and this is Lander with the puck now. Lander steps into a slap shot. That's blocked. Yakupov knocks it down, gives it right back to 51. Keaton fires a shot. That hit Delorier, and that has stung Nicholas Delorier. Lander with a shot. Enroth makes the save, and he'll hang on to it as Enroth heads to the bench. He is in some pain. Keaton, another guy who can fire it.
Yeah, and it looks like it's the hand. The way guys block shots now, the hand is exposed. But Neil Yakupov makes a nice play in keeping this puck in. Does a really good job keeping the puck in, and then you've got the opportunity to set up. So you want to start shooting right away. First off, good block. That hurts right off the shin, and then coming back to the point, there's Delorier in front. Delorier is going to line up with the shot, turns, and it hits off. He was off the stick and then off the hand. Those sting.
7 blocked shots for the Buffalo Sabres so far in this game.
Tyson Strachan, I think, has had 3 already.
Penalty is over. Teams at even strength. The Oilers 0 for 1 with a man advantage. Pizarro sends it around the boards. He has had 3 blocked shots in this period. As it comes back to Ferentz at the point. Quickly over to Petrie. Petrie looking down low for Eberle. That was broken up. Pouliot steals it away from Georges. Georges gets it back again and gets it to Ennis, who's content just to flip it out to center.
The credit, Quinter, to the Buffalo Sabres. You know, you've lost 12 in a row. The season is a wash, and you still got guys who are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Blocking shots, doing all those tough things.
Tyler Ennis centered it right out in front. And standing there was Gergensen. Couldn't put it home. Hendricks back the other way. Hendricks with Klinkhammer. Pad save for Enroth. Kleefbom down low, takes a hit from Ennis. Strachan moves it to Mike Weber. Weber skates to find some space and flips it down the ice. Stewart going after it. Stewart blocked there by Kleefbom. Stewart with the only goal in that game in Calgary. It was a power play marker, his second power play of the season. Just over 9 minutes left to go in the first period. Here is Chris Stewart racing for the puck against Mark Bain. Back to the point it comes. Myers is there, able to keep it in. Roy starts back for the Oilers. He's with Yakupov. Derek Roy takes the look. And a feed it to Teddy Purcell. Checked by Myers. The puck comes free for Cody Hodgson. Hodgson, one of those guys that may be able to explain why the Sabres are where they are. Cody Hodgson had 20 goals last year. Drew, he's got 2 this year.
Yeah, and boy, he doesn't look as fast as he used to be, does he?
Here's Flynn with a chance. Roy stopped that out in front. Mitchell, his opportunity denied. Petrie comes up with the puck.
That has been good. Gianta, Mitchell, and Flynn have been very good.
Yakupov. Plays it back to Ference. The Oilers making changes. Getting the Lander line out there. Includes Gazdek and Fraser, and this is Lander, but it is offside at the Sabres blue line. Rogers, Oilers hockey, right here on
Welcome back. Derek Roy brought to Edmonton for his experience, his offense, and at times his defense as he helps thwart an offensive opportunity for his old team. In fact, his first team started back in 2001, the NHL entry draft in Florida. There is Derek after he was chosen 32nd overall amongst a group of young men. It's always a great day when you are drafted into the National Hockey League. Twice he was the last cut for the Sabres before in 2003 he made it as a rookie. Look at his headshot as a member of the Buffalo Sabres. 8 seasons, as Kevin mentioned, 549 games, and Derek Sabres his moments in a Buffalo uniform.
4 times a 20-goal scorer for them. The Oilers are down by 1 to Keaton. Turning, letting a shot go. Enroth looking for it. So is Klinkhammer. The whistle goes. As Jonas Enroth did not know where that puck was for a second.
That spin around shot, it's hard to pick it up. To watch the game last night between Chicago and LA, a goal scored by Jeff Carter was a spin shot that you just can't find. So the goalie is looking for a cue. Where's the puck coming from? And so Nikita Nikitin wants to take the puck to the net, turns, fires. That's hard to pick that puck up. So all you're doing if you're Jonas Enroth, just keep your pad down and hope that your defenseman help you out.
Kleefbom shot deflected wide. Fraser keeps it in. Gazdek battling with Mazaros. Lander out in front. Fraser shot. He scores. Matt Fraser ties the game at 1.
Well, if you want to have an opportunity like this, you've got to win faceoffs, and right away, the Oilers win it clean. There's a shot that goes to the net, but then great puck pursuit. 2 guys over puck pursuit, win the battle along the boards. Continue to hold, continue to support. Matt Fraser works his way off the boards. A really nice pass by Anton Lander. He reads the play, cuts it off, finds his man quickly, and it's on your stick, off your stick. If you're Matt Fraser, it's in the net. Terrific job by those 3 guys, winning the face-off, working the boards, and then getting to the net.
5 points for Matt Fraser in 12 games in an Oiler uniform. And his first goal in his last 8. Georges sips the wrist shot through. That goes wide. Myers throws it towards the net. It's picked off before it could get there by Nugent Hopkins. Anton Lander gets the assist. He's got 5 on the year. Kleefbom at the point. Kleefbom goes down low, and that puck gets deflected out of play. Our first score and win winner, courtesy of Safeway and Ocean Spray Cocktails, is Andrew Haig of Sherwood Park, who has won the Hoover Air Cordless Vacuum on the goal by Matt Fraser.
Matt Fraser with the goal. You see Anton Lander there, and Anton made the play on that. You're talking to Todd Nelson about Anton Lander today. He said he thinks that Anton's gaining some confidence because he likes the way his game is going. And Todd Nelson said he should like the way his game is going. He's been strong since he's come up, and he's got more confidence and is taking a leadership role as well.
Over 51% in the faceoff circle so far this season for number 51. Ryan Flynn lays it back to Weber. Weber will give it to Strachan. Tyson Strachan to Gianta. Stepped up on there by Ferentz. Allows Yakupov to keep the puck in. 6.5 minutes to go. Personal on the intercept. Nice play by Yakupov again. Derek Roy lets it go for Teddy Purcell. Teddy Purcell to Derek Roy. Back to the point. Petrie gets away from Flynn. Petrie throws it towards the net. That one goes right through and comes out to Ferentz on the near side. This Roy line keeping the Sabres pinned up in their own zone. And finally, Weber sends it down the ice. That will get a change in for Buffalo.
That was another Yakupov light almost giveaway by Andrew Ferentz in front of his own net. Sorry to nail.
Nikitin has it go by him, and here is Ennis with Klinkhammer chasing him. Ennis feeds it across, looking for Matt Moulson. Got there a little late.
Good direction by Mark Fane. Rob Klinkhammer's back check, and he said, Rob, you take that guy. I'm going to take the puck carrier. It was well sorted out.
There's Klinkhammer in the offensive zone. He will backhand it in. 9 shots for the Oilers, 5 for the Sabres in a 1-1 tie. Stalainen. Zaros to Molson. He just sends it slowly in. Schultz will get to it. He'll give it to Klefbom. Klefbom takes a hit from Ennis. Gazdic goes cross ice for Fraser. Fraser, Lander, and Gazdic right back out there. Lander with the puck now. Anton Lander. Shot scores. Klefbom hammers that shot, and the Oilers have the lead. Oscar Klefbom's first goal of the season, and first in 35 games.
And credit number 20, Luke Gazdic, being in front of the net. One of the big keys on this goal. Good job out of the zone. Gazdic moves it. Good support coming into the zone. Now the big thing, get there first. Lander works inside. Again, beats Tyler Myers. The shot with the man in front. Good speed coming up the ice. Good support on the puck. Good job being first. And a terrific job causing some hassle with your big Luke Gazdic at the net. But what a shot by Oscar Klefbom.
Oscar Klefbom's first goal of the season. He's now got 3 points in his last 3 games.
Little details in the game, but to see Anton Lander get there first, inside on Tyler Myers, one of the keys to that goal.
Well, Todd Nelson getting that line right back out there, and it pays off because Lander's got 2 points and Fraser's got 2 points.
You know, you start to see that art of coaching from Todd Nelson. He's got a good feel on the bench.
Oscar Klefbom had gone 34 games without a goal, but it's all over now as he gets his first of the year.
2 goals for the Edmonton Oilers in this first period, all by the same line. Gazdic, Lander, and Matt Fraser with the first one. Good work by Gazdic and Anton Lander. Lander, great job on the forecheck here. Gazdic in front. Fraser's going to be there as well. Big goal from the shot from Oscar Klefbom, the defenseman, teaming up with that group.
Well, by shopping at Safeway, Dave Rignaldi of Edmonton has won the Garmin Verb Elite HD Action Camera, courtesy of Safeway and Ocean Spray Cocktails, and Oscar Klefbom. 2 goals in 2 minutes and 35 seconds has given the Oilers a 2-1 lead. Pouliot, outlet pass, gets it back again from Jordan Eberle. Lost it to Gianta. Pick up for Flynn. He will tip it in. Scrimmage. Going to play it himself. Will give it to Nikitin. He was under pressure there from Flynn. Nugent Hopkins. To Eberle. Chips and chases against Myers. Gets double teamed by Myers and Georges. Flynn with the puck now. Torrey Mitchell. Myers catching up. Tyler Myers going wide on Klefbom. The Sabres making changes. Myers hangs onto it. Comes to Molson. Ends up with Gergensen, snaps a shot, rebound in front for Ennis, but Dribbins makes the save.
Protecting what matters most to you and your team. You are covered with the power of Insight, the official construction insurance broker of the Edmonton Oilers.
If I was Tyler Myers, this is what I'd be doing all day long. He's a big man who covers a lot of ground when he gets moving forward. He can protect the puck, get up in the play as much as you can. Tyler Myers is struggling as far as goal scoring goes this year, but still he's a force defensively.
222 got his second goal of the season. Opened the scoring for Buffalo, but the Oilers respond with 2 goals from the Anton Lander line. Klinkhammer, along with Hendricks and Gordon now, and it's Hendricks with the puck. Circles the net. Klinkhammer fires a shot. That was Gordon with the shot. Klinkhammer in front of the net. Gordon now gives it to Klinkhammer. He is checked by Girgensson, fights him off. Whipped on that centering attempt as he goes back to the bench. Then it's Girgensson going wide. Shot blockered away by Scriven. And it keeps it in. Petrie picks it off. He'll give it to Ferentz. Ferentz finds Teddy Purcell in full flight. Purcell snaps a shot. Enroth the save. And there's no rebound.
Talking to Rob Klinkhammer yesterday about his line and his role, Hendricks, Gordon, and Klinkhammer. Rob is saying that one thing that he thinks that line can do better is create offensive zone time. And you can see that they're trying. He said, if we get the opportunity, we're going to be able to take the puck to net, but we got to maybe get in there, maybe even back off wanting to get that first hit. He said, Matt and I go in there and we think we're just going to crush guys. Maybe just go in there, get the puck, and keep it deep.
Rob Klinkhammer has fit well on that wagon line.
He certainly has.
Derek Roy gets to center. Pass just out of the reach of Teddy Purcell. Carrying on is Yakupov. Myers got his stick in the way and sent it up into the netting.
For Todd Nelson, he was talking about, the Nail Yakupov giveaway, and he said, the one thing you have to do as a coach is you got to give a player a chance to overcome his mistakes. And he said he didn't even talk to Nail Yakupov about the giveaway last game right away. It was a couple shifts later. He went down and said, hey, let's just go back and maybe move that puck forward instead of going across the ice. So one thing that he has developed is a strong relationship with his players, and he thinks that's the key to being a good coach.
And Benoit Pouliot did the same thing, gave the puck away to Nino Niederreiter. Right. And he said, you don't have to say anything. He knows what he did. He's a veteran player. Fraser, Gazdic, and Lander out there again. With just over 2 minutes left to go in the period. Anton Lander backhands it in. Gazdic's going to give chase. Weber gets there first, gets hit by Gazdic. Torrey Mitchell in the corner. Gets cut off. The puck comes to Gianna. Add an assist to Brian Gianna on that first goal. So Gianna has got 8 helpers on the year. Nikitin across the blue line. Nikitin drops it back for Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins throws it towards the net. That goes wide. And it got by Benoit Pouliot. Laurier pushed it ahead for Coletta. Pouliot gathers it up across the blue line. Here comes Benoit Pouliot. Checked by Ristolainen. Pouliot protecting the puck. Gets it to Everly. Gets it back again. Pouliot's got Nugent Hopkins out in front. Nugent Hopkins going after it. Sticks flying all over the place.
Stick absolutely snapped. It was Matt Ellis' stick. It looked like Jordan Everly skated through it.
This is Laurier. Comes together with Fane. Coletta's got it. Everly picks that off behind the net. Nugent Hopkins checked by Zemgus Girgensson. And the Buffalo Sabres throwing their waiting around for the final minutes of this period. Nugent Hopkins gathers it up to center. End of the shift. Will just dump that puck in. And Roth will leave it there for Myers. Myers pass to Girgensson. Off the boards for Matt Molson. He was checked immediately by Ferentz. Plays it around the boards, gave it away to Ennis. He'll come back to the near sides. Moving in is Tyson Strachan. Takes the hit, gets the puck behind the net. Ennis battles with Petrie. Petrie to Klinkhammer. Kept in by Mike Weber. Strachan can't keep that puck in. In fact, it goes into the bench. Now Hendricks thought about it with Strachan. Strachan also.
Strachan more than thought about it. He was willing to engage. Whoops. Matt Hendricks decided, no, we're just going to wait maybe till next period. The Buffalo Sabres want to get something going back. The Edmonton Oilers, interesting. When they were on the road trip or just before, Benoit Pouliot had 5 goals in the previous 3 games, and Jordan Eberle the 1. In the last 4 games, that number, the 9 different goal scorers, is really important. People say secondary scoring. I just say scoring. Your job is to try to score goals. The good thing you see in these last number of games now is that more and more guys are getting involved, and I think that's a credit to the coaches, but also a credit to the guys doing the work, doing the little detailed things that they need to do.
Oscar Klefbom knows his job is not to lead all defensemen in scoring, but you know that's got to feel good to get off the schneid. Time winding down in the period, and Ben Scrivens keeps it alive, and that will end the period.
After a slow start, a good couple of goals by the one line, and see if the other lines can pick up on that energy.
2 goals in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. The Oilers have a 2-1 lead, and they're also outshooting the Sabres 12-8. We'll be back with more right after this. Rexall, everyone. 20 minutes in the books. The Oilers with a 2-1 lead. Let's take a look now at the first period scoring summary. It's brought to you by Worley Parsons Cord. Visit WorleyParsonsCord.com to find your place on our construction team.
The Buffalo Sabres struck first. Tyler Myers gets a second goal. Real good forecheck by Torrey Mitchell and Brian Gionta led to the goal. After that, though, it was Matt Fraser with a heck of a shot. Good work along the boards by Gazdic and Lander. So what does Todd Nelson do? Throws them back out again. Lander and Fraser get back involved, and Oscar Klefbom with the shot.
We're talking to the general manager of the Edmonton Oilers, Craig McTavish, and he had some interesting comments about Anton Lander.
Yeah, talking about development, you know, the difference between Anton Lander last year, where he's not able to really get a foot in the National Hockey League, and this year. And this first period is a good example. He's making plays now. And why he's making plays is because mentally, he doesn't make very many mistakes. He starts from that clean slate where he's smart, knows how to make plays, and now he's being able to transfer it to his NHL game. Something Todd Nelson said would happen.
Another guy that never makes a mistake. Let's turn over his microphone right now. I'm talking about Gene, not you. Gino.
I thought you were talking about me too, but then Drew kind of went, well, are you sure you're not talking about me? Well, all of us on a game day generally, well, the Oilers skate about 10:15, so we get to the rink, well, try and be around 10 a.m. Doesn't always work that way. So I'm getting to the rink this morning at Rexall Place, and I see this guy walking. I'm like, this guy kind of looks familiar. And after a look at, well, yeah, I do know who this guy is. It is Ted Nolan. He was rocking and Nolan as he made his way to Rexall Place this morning. Now, there is a serious side to why he walks. He is one of 12 kids, and 6 of his siblings are deceased because of the fact that, well, they just, you know, bad luck and bad health. So he wants to be around for his grandkids. And I mean, it's not a real long walk, but a long enough walk. Staying at the Fairmont Hotel, it's listed as 54 minutes. Ted said he did it in 45. And one other thing about Ted, he said he had a tough upbringing on the reserve, and his family didn't have a car. And so oftentimes he had to walk to get anywhere. And his point to his players, Drew and Kevin, is that you have to work your way around obstacles. You can always find ways to be stopped, but how can you find ways to continue? He also did say that the longest walk in the league, Philadelphia, 1 hour and 20 minutes. So no Bill, but some insight into Ted's excellent adventure.
Walking through some of those neighborhoods in Philadelphia, you're going to have a guy like that. When you look at Ted Nolan and how tough it's been for Ted Nolan. When he got fired the first time, he wasn't getting back in the National Hockey League. So what did he do? Did he sulk? No. He started making a difference on the reserve with Aboriginal players. And, Ted Nolan has been a big contributor back to hockey.
He and Scotty Bowman, 2 coaches, had 2 stints with the Buffalo Sabres. Second period is underway. The Oilers with a 2-1 lead. Luke Gazdic picking up an assist on that first goal by Matt Fraser. So Luke Gazdic gets on the board in terms of the score sheet for the first time this season. Got his first assist in 44 games. He will take it as Eberle comes across the blue line. Little chip pass for Pouliot. Benoit Pouliot from the corner. Gets it to Eberle. Eberle works his way out. The backhand gets thwarted by Gionta and Myers. But it's back at the point for Klefbom to Petrie. Petrie gets it back to Oscar Klefbom. Wrist shot this time. Picked up on the near side by Flynn. He'll get it out to center no further. Jeff Petrie is there. Petrie. Being watched by Ennis. We talked to him this morning about that big hit he threw in that game against Minnesota, and he said, yeah, you got to time it, or you can look rather foolish.
You can't go looking for that big hit. It's got to come to you.
He hit Michael Granlund right in front of the Minnesota bench. Enrod takes a look, plays it off the glass, around the boards. Hendricks is there, gets it back to Nikitin. Nikitin had it in his feet. He'll have to retreat. Now he'll battle with Girgensons. Gets a little help from Gordon to get that puck deep. Pass for Tyler Ennis. Got by him. This is Nikitin. Nikitin plays it to Purcell. Teddy Purcell has it go off his stick. Josh Georges will get to it first. Purcell's right on him. Teddy Purcell along with Derek Roy and Yakupov. Yakupov couldn't get the shot away. Nikitin might. He does up high on Enrod. He juggled it, put it to the corner. The Oilers keep the pressure on. Here's Stafford. Chips and chases. Gets a little help. Stewart against Nikitin. Two big men, and Nikitin won that battle. Sends it around the boards. Kept in. Nikitin backhands it to an open wing and gets it down the ice. We have seen a couple of spinoramas from the big Russian. One on net, one to get the puck out. Here's Yakupov to Nikitin again. Another little soft backhand pass. They're picked up there by Fraser. Dropped back in though by Cody Hodgson. Drop pass. Ristolainen down below the red line for the defenseman. Stafford behind the net. Stafford trying to work it towards the net. Again, stopped by Nikitin, who's been out there for a while. This Leiden long shot, that one whistles wide. Ellis keeps it in. He fires a shot that doesn't make it through. Mazzaros puts it towards the net. That one is blocked by Schultz. And the Oilers get out.
Some extended time. Ooh, the hard hit. Extended time in the Oilers zone because they didn't get a puck out. As Matt Fraser got to do a better job along the boards. Talking about along the boards, we talked about the hit by Jeff Petrie. This is the big crushing hit on Michael Granlund. Come across, beautifully timed. Rob Blakish coming across. The butt comes across. The only game in town, the only place in town where somebody tells you you get a big butt, it works in your favor. Good hit by Jeff Petrie, but as you said, you can't go looking for that big hit because it'll take you out. I was really impressed with Michael Granlund the last game. He took a hard hit, couple of hard hits, and he kept on playing. It was a force in the game.
He's not the biggest guy in the world either.
He just came back from injury and he just kept playing.
A wrist injury that kept him out for 13 games. They are in Calgary right now. Nugent Hopkins with a steal. Leads the team in takeaways. Ferentz at the point. Nugent Hopkins to Eberle. Gets it back again. Down low for Pouliot over skates. And Brian Flynn will pick it up. Flynn tries the other side. Giunta against Ferentz. The puck will just trickle outside the blue line to be picked up there by Jeff Petrie. 14 shots for the Oilers, 8 for the Sabres. The Sabres will be in Vancouver tomorrow night. They are 2-9. The first games of back-to-backs.
Tripping penalty, I do believe it is, coming up to the Buffalo Sabres. It is going to go.
Brian Giunta.
Brian Giunta.
The Oilers 0 for 1 with a man advantage.
Just right there. That little leg out. I don't mean little by he's not big stature. He's just a little bit of an open foot and
he's
a little bit of a trip.
5'7", Drew, for those wondering.
I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, sure you didn't.
Look how tall I am. Are you kidding me? I'm going to call somebody little.
Yakupov at the point. He'll give it to Derek Roy. Roy lost the handle, and it's sent down the ice by Matt Ellis.
The Sabres penalty, Giunta tripping.
You know, you just let me slide on some stuff once in a while. Just let you know.
Nikitin. This is Derek Roy. Across the blue line, centering pass. And then trying to feed Fraser.
Shoot that bad boy.
Back to the point it comes. Nikitin. Yakupov will shoot it in a pad save by Enrod. Roy will give it to Nikitin. Puck's on end. He'll give it to Yakupov. Get it back again. Now a slap pass for Roy behind him. Right to Yakupov. His shot. Another pad save by Jonas Enrod. Nikitin fakes the shot. Yakupov gives it back to him. Lander to the middle for Derek Roy. Yakupov gathers it up on the near side. He'll go cross ice. Here's Nikitin, steps into a bomb, and Mitchell got his stick in the way of it and sent it up into the netting.
Edmonton International Airport. We'll move you.
shooting the puck, moving the puck around. Jonas Enroth, though, 2 very good saves off of Nail Yakupov. Gets that left pad down. Nice push across by the Sabres goalie.
54 seconds left to go on the penalty to Brian Giunta. First unit power play on the ice right now. As Georges sends it around the board, Schultz keeps it in. Eberle checked by Myers. Pouliot back to the point. Schultz is there. Eddie Burchell gives it to Eberle, gets it to Schultz. Schultz, quick pass to Nugent Hopkins. Gets it back again, lets it go, and that was blocked by Myers.
Block some shots.
The eclipse. Flynn picks it up. He is stopped in the corner, can't get going. The puck will come around the near side, nobody home. And the Oilers will have to regroup as time winds down in the penalty to Giunta. Schultz stands for one last rush. Nugent Hopkins chips and chases. Nugent Hopkins from the corner. The penalty to Giunta is now over. Teams at even strength, Oilers with control. Here's Klefbom again, and again it's a pad save by Jonas Enroth.
Same spot that Yakupov was shooting, that left low position on the corner. And Enroth says, you shoot there all day, I'm going to stop him.
Oilers 0 for 2 with a man advantage. Klinkhammer takes Girgensons into the boards. Rob Klinkhammer came into the game with 126 hits. Hendricks fights off Lazaros. Hendricks trying the wraparound, stopped by Cody Hodgson. Hodgson puts it to the middle. Fain breaks that up. Bringing it back in, Klinkhammer, wrist shot, handled easily by Jonas Enroth. Rogers Oilers hockey, right here on Sports.
Welcome back. The Goals for Kids program is proudly sponsored by Synovus. For every Oilers goal this season, Synovus will donate $400 to Kids Sport. To date, the Oilers have scored 109 goals for a total of $43,600.
Edmonton Oilers out shooting the Sabres 18-9, but shot attempts 37 for the Oilers, 16 for the Sabres.
Sabres doing a very good job getting in front of shots, and the Oilers doing a very good job denying the Sabres many opportunities to shoot.
Our stats man, Terry Terrific, giving those up to the number.
I think that's his legal name.
I bet he likes that.
Oh, does he?
He loves the handle Terrific. Petrie, just outside the blue line, will backhand it in. The Oilers are going to go to Calgary for a game against the Flames on Saturday. Then they'll be in San Jose on Monday. Drew, Gene, and I will be there, and we'll bring you the game against the Sharks. Game on Saturday, of course. Hockey night in Canada. Fraser skates by it. Hudson can't get a shot away. Lander prevented that.
There's a phantom reverse. Jeff Petrie threw it to the Buffalo Sabres. You don't normally want that to happen when you're trying to break the puck out. You've got to start executing a little bit here. Again, the Oilers getting off to a slow start in the second period.
Tyler Ennis backhands it in. Ferentz will gather it up. Can't get it by Girgensons. Girgensons, Molson, and Ennis the forward line against the fourth line for the Oilers. Hendricks to an open wing, and it's picked up there by Ferentz. Tried to get it in, back the other way comes Ennis. He's got Girgensons catching up. Tyler Ennis one-on-one against Petrie, threw that right through the crease. Shot by Strachan is blocked by Gordon. Quick pass for Ennis. He put it off Petrie. Molson gives it to Girgensons. Back to the point. One-timer from Tyson Strachan. That one went way wide. Back to the point. Weber this time. His shot and a glove save by Scrivens, and he'll hang on to it.
Now, as you mentioned, the Oilers attempting as many shots as they can, but they're getting their shots blocked. A nice block by Tyson Strachan. Again, big number 24 in there, takes it off the shin. Delorier also on this one takes it one off the hand. Selling out, getting in shooting lanes, doing a good job, blocking as many shots as possible. There's big Tyler Myers, as you call him, the Eclipse, getting in front. And boy, when that body gets in front, he's going to stop a lot of shots. I think that's a credit to Ted Nolan and his coaching staff, and he's still getting his guys to sell out, even though they've been in a very, very tough stretch.
Teddy Burchell goes cross ice looking for Derek Roy. Picked up by Yakupov. Nikitin flips that one in. Roy going after it against Myers. Myers comes away with a puck. Giveaway, Yakupov receiving, but Mitchell came back and stole it right back again. Myers behind his own net. Right out in front for Giunta. Off the skate of Flynn. The Oilers able to keep it in. Gianta's got it now. He'll give it to Mitchell. quickly to Flynn. Look at Myers jump up. Myers centering pass goes all the way to the near side to Mitchell. He can't handle it, and it is Teddy Purcell with the puck now. Purcell still has it. Purcell with a shot. Enroth, the save, a big rebound comes to Derek Roy. Roy gets shoved from behind by Mesros. As picked up by Gianta, who whips that puck in. Scrivens will stop it. Scrivens lays it around the boards for Eberle. Schultz takes a hit there from Delorier.
Laurier is one of the top hitters in the National Hockey League. He's top 10 in hits, 153 coming into the game. He's going to finish checks.
He is 7th in the league when the night started.
Surf your fave wave with the new Mastercraft X20. Let the Gen 2 surf system custom sculpt your perfect wave. Available at Martin Motorsports.
Watch your Sportsnet channels live 24/7 from anywhere on any device. Visit sportsnet.ca/now or download the Sportsnet Now app.
Oilers are 9-7-1 against the Eastern Conference. And this division that Buffalo plays in, the Atlantic, they are 4-4-1.
Well, the Oilers, for some reason, against the East have been very, very good this year. Does it signify anything? I don't know what it signifies at all, to tell you the truth. You try to figure it out, and you can use all the analytics you want. But against the East, they play, I think, a similar game. That's why they're able to be a little bit more competitive.
That bomb shot steered aside by Enroth. Nugent Hopkins from the corner to Eberle. Eberle, Pouliot hammers a shot, and again a pad save by Enroth. Schultz down low. Schultz circles the net. Schultz lays it back to the point. It got by Pouliot. Scrivens will handle, directing traffic a little bit. They'll play it behind the net. Almost gave it away to Stewart. But it's picked up by Anton Lander. Lander, first ever 2-point game in the National Hockey League. His team quickly pointed out after interviewing him, and Lander playing with some confidence. Luke Gazdic. Up the middle it goes. There is Fraser to backhand it in. He'll chase it. Enroth out of the net. Mike Weber for Molson. Matt Molson under pressure from Gazdic gets it to Gergensen, and he'll give it to Ennis. Ennis to Gergensen. Gergensen catching up backhand, stopped by Scrivens.
Beautiful little pass by Ennis. Just an area pass like a quarterback throwing the ball into an area. Let the receiver run underneath it. Same thing from Ennis to Gergensen.
Gergensen, the leading goal getter for this Buffalo Sabres team. He has got 13 goals on the season, a career high for him. Just over 9 minutes to go in the second period. Ristolainen goes cross ice off the stick of Klinkhammer to the corner. Ennis is there. Ennis checked by Ferentz, pushed off the puck, and the captain will get it to Petrie. Jeff Petrie, out the middle it goes for Hendricks. Now to Klinkhammer, cutting from the net. Klinkhammer gets knocked down, goes into the boards behind the net, pops right back up again. As the puck goes down the ice, Fane to center, but here is Ennis again. Ennis tripped up there by Boyd Gordon, and a penalty coming. Ennis right in front for Mitchell. Mitchell stopped by Scrivens. And the Buffalo Sabres will now get their first power play of the game. The penalty killers for the Oilers will go to work when we come back. Boyd Gordon in the box for Trippett.
Tyson Strachan is a Buffalo Sabre who cares deeply about animals, and so he's put together a Pucks and Paws calendar. Photos with many of the Sabres along with pets to help mix hockey with helping rescue many of these animals and help get them adopted. The calendars are $20 each. Money goes to a local SPCA. What a fantastic initiative. And I know this morning Drew and Kevin were trying to get it, steal it. I told them, hey, get your paws off.
Absolutely you did. Power play for Buffalo gets their first chance. Ristolainen at the point. They'll go cross ice. Myers is waiting for it. He'll push it down to Ennis. Stewart in the middle. He got a power play goal against Calgary in a game on Tuesday.
Good play by Anton Lander on the penalty kill. Collapsed it down from the point, disrupting that pass. Oh, collision at the net.
Hendricks got knocked down there by Ristolainen. Ennis brings it back in for the Sabres. Ennis checked by Fane. And there's Nikitin to send it the length of the ice.
Boy, you know, when you watch Mark Fane, doesn't make many mistakes out there. He's not going to wow you with his offensive skill, but boy, he's good defensively.
Nugent Hopkins with a shorthanded shot that goes over top of the net. Buffalo Sabres 30th in the league on the power play, 30th in the league on the road with the man advantage. They have just 6 power play goals away from the Queen City. Mazaros back into his own zone, resetting, second minute of this power play. Drew Stafford, he'll go cross ice. He is with Molson. Molson going after it. Petrie gets there first. Ference around the boards. Hendricks pins his man against the boards, and that allows Petrie to get it, and he will send it down the ice. Oilers penalty killing ranked 22nd in the league. Teddy Purcell and Rob Klinkhammer are out there with Nikitin and Fane. Flynn shoots it in against By Scrivens. Molson can't get it. Picked up by Purcell. Georges keeps it in briefly, but now this is Rob Klinkhammer, shorthanded, long shot, blocked by Mazaros. Giunta gathers it up. Across the blue line comes number 12. Quick shot there by Mitchell, handled by Scrivens on the one-timer from Torrey Mitchell.
That's a nice play by the Buffalo Sabres, and again, it's Torrey Mitchell and Brian Giunta working this time. Delorier's out with them. Giunta comes on the ice after that blocked shot. Got a drive to the net, that classic drive to net, leaves Torrey Mitchell open on the wing, on the off wing, and then one-time it on the push by Ben Scrivens. Gets across. By the time he's across, he's already square to the puck. He's done a desperate move. He read the play coming in. Good vision, good read, good anticipation by Scrivens.
12 saves for him as Boyd Gordon is out of the penalty box. Buffalo 0 for 1 with a man advantage. They were 0 for 1 when these teams hooked up back in the first week of November. Strachan will give it to Mike Weber. Weber stripped to the puck there by Pouliot. Pouliot to Eberle. Eberle from his knees, a centering pass goes off Tyson Strachan. Delorier flips it, and it's picked up by Schultz. Justin Schultz going to have time as the Sabres want to make changes. Quickly up for Eberle. Eberle, drop pass for Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins shot that goes wide. Molson can't get it by Nugent Hopkins. He'll get a second opportunity and is successful in getting it to neutral ice. 22 shots for the Oilers, 13 for the Sabres. Oilers get the Yakupov, Purcell, Roy line up there now. Ennis with Molson and Gergensons.
Ennis doing anything he can to get to the puck first.
Purcell to Derek Roy. Roy to Yakupov. Yakupov, the patented spin move. Back to the point it comes. Schultz to Klefbom. Klefbom with a wrist shot blocked by Myers. He'll get it to Ennis. Ennis gave it away to Klefbom. Here's a chance for Yakupov. His shot stopped by Jonas Enroth.
Oscar Klefbom could have got the puck to him just a little sooner. Neil Yakupov would have had more time to do something.
Yakupov again with 3 shots in this period as that puck did come out across the line. Neil Yakupov looking for his first career goal against the Buffalo Sabres. Enroth having something to say about it.
Welcome back. Saturday in Barclays Premier League action. Chelsea hosts Manchester City in a top-of-the-table clash at Stamford Bridge in London, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. That happens on Sportsnet 1. Meanwhile, Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's hockey game is Ocean Spray Cocktails.
4 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the second period. The Oilers with a 2-1 lead. All the scoring done in the first period. Stewart. Bumped into by Gazdic. Those two guys had words in the first period. Nothing came of it. Nikitin trying to steal the puck away. It comes all the way back down into Oiler territory. Mark Fane will gather it up. Mark Fane to the middle, gave it away to Stewart, but Nikitin recovers, gets it to Gazdic. Enroth to Stafford. Drew Stafford weaves his way across the blue line. Stafford cutting from the net, centered it right out in front. A bouncing puck is gathered up by Matt Fraser. Fraser It's dumped by Stafford as he backhanded that puck in. They're letting them play, Drew.
Thank goodness. Can't stand it when a referee's getting involved. I don't mean that, by the way.
Gionta stopped by Petrie right at the blue line. Gionta finally bounces that puck in. Ference backhanded. Stopped by Gionta. Petrie there. Round the boards for Pouliot. Torrey Mitchell got in the way. Nugent Hopkins to Pouliot. Close quarter battle with Torrey Mitchell.
Best line for the Buffalo Sabres tonight. Mitchell, Gionta, Flynn.
George's shot. Juggled by Scrivens. The puck sits there. It's still bouncing around. Gionta's shot, and he hit the post. Myers. A wrist shot intending to put that one, I think, off the backboard. Gionta, centering pass. Eberle picked it off, but Georges has got it. Josh Georges down low for Flynn. Flynn threw it right out in front. Mitchell couldn't get his stick on it. Back the other way comes Pouliot with Eberle. Pouliot, drop pass for Nugent Hopkins, kicks it ahead. Enroth stick save into the corner. Pouliot using that reach, pushes the puck to the far side. Nugent Hopkins to Pouliot, quickly to Eberle, got past him. But waiting for it is Schultz. Pouliot behind the net. Benoit Pouliot works his way all the way to the blue line. Set shot, high and wide. Boyd Gordon trying to center. Oilers able to make a change in the offensive zone. Klefbom fires a shot, deflected by Klinkhammer, and a good save by Enroth. Henricks back to gather it up. Henricks, the pass to Gordon. Gordon moving in with Klinkhammer. Gordon to Klinkhammer, couldn't get the shot away. Rob Klinkhammer back to the point it comes. Klefbom will give it to Schultz. Schultz moves in. Justin Schultz can't get it by Josh Georges. Klinkhammer back to the point. Henricks covering for Schultz at the blue line. Will backhand the puck deep for Gordon. Jurgensen finally pushes it ahead for Gionta. Gionta takes a bump there from Henricks.
He can still scoot though, Brian Gionta, can he? He can still get up the ice.
Matt Henricks came into the game with 113 hits. Stafford takes a hit from Klinkhammer. Ennis avoids a hit from Derek Roy. Drops it back with a buck and a half left to go in the period. Ristolainen finds Drew Stafford. Stafford drops it for Ennis. Tyler Ennis with speed behind the net, circles, lets a shot go, and he missed the target. Strachan gets the puck deep for Stafford, who bumps into Teddy Purcell. Stafford, Molson back to the point. Zaros, Strachan, one-timer, Scrivens save, and no rebound for Ennis.
Now, an easier save right there by Ben Scrivens than a few minutes earlier. Good work along the boards. Flynn and Torrey Mitchell getting in, working hard, get the puck away, and they get to the net. Shot, mad scramble, just misses right there. Andrew Ference with a heck of a diving play, prevents a goal, and then Brian Gionta with the put-back shot. One more time, there's the dive by Andrew Ference. Ben Scrivens gets turned around, and then the shot comes ding off the outside of the post, and it goes the other way. But Flynn, Gionta, Mitchell, best line so far tonight for the Buffalo Sabres.
A wagon line out there now. They have combined for 13 hits. Klinkhammer with 6, Hendricks with 7. With under a minute to go in the period, the puck goes high into the seats.
You know, that line, and you've seen the work from Luke Gazdic and Anton Lander and Matt Frazier. Those lines very similar. Their work is what results in their chance. They put the work in, and that way they get the chances at the net.
You know, we were talking to Todd Nelson this morning, and he was talking about, well, in a perfect world, you just roll 4 lines. You don't care what the situation is. You're seeing that a little bit more now. The third and fourth lines for the Edmonton Oilers have been very good tonight.
Very good. They're working, they're physical, they're detailed, they're making the right plays.
24 shots for the Oilers. Weber's shot, the 16th for the Buffalo Sabres. Cody Hodgson from the corner with 30 seconds to go in the period. Stripped the puck by Anton Lander. Outlet pass to Matt Frazier. Petrie joins the rush. Now he'll peel back. Enroth lays it around the glass. Can't get it by Frazier. Luke Gazdic with the puck now. Gazdic lays it behind the net. Weber intercepts. Weber to Strachan. Tyson Strachan makes the safe play, but that puck does go out of play.
Introducing the new BF Goodrich KO2 tire. BF Goodrich. Take control.
Just 4.5 seconds to go in the period. Girgensons against Nugent Hopkins, a pair of all-stars. From the draw, tied up, and Ennis will not let a shot go. And the second period comes to an end. No scoring between these two teams.
Not the best period for the Edmonton Oilers. They need to do a better job, as we talked about, executing, making better passes, and creating more offensive zone time.
12-8, the shots and goal in the first period. The Oilers got 12 shots in that second period. The Sabres got 8. Do the math. 24-16, Drew.
Thank you. I was having trouble with that last carry.
40 minutes are in the books here at Rexall between the Edmonton Oilers and the Buffalo Sabres. Let's take a look at the scoring summary brought to you by Worley Parsons Court. Visit WorleyParsonsCourt.com to find your place on our construction team.
In the first period, we saw all the goals because we haven't seen it in the second period. Second period, interesting stat to me is the face-off, 53 to 47% in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. The hits, they're getting up there, they're tracking up high.
You know, if you're a coach, you want to roll 4 lines, and Todd Nelson's been able to do that. And tonight, I think Anton Lemner has played one of his best games. That whole line has been good.
They've been very good because they put the work in, like we talked about with Torrey Mitchell's line, Brian Gionta and Flynn on the line with the Buffalo Sabres. Gazdic, Lander, and Fraser have been very good. They're physical, they're getting the puck in, they understand their role, they understand what they've got to do. Now, 2 things. Number 1, you want more of that from that fourth line. And number 2, you need the other 3 lines to step up their game. Was not a strong second period for the Edmonton Oilers. They need to be better in the third if they want to win this.
You know what everybody wants more of?
Me.
Gene Principe.
Really? Again with Gene?
Yes, all Gene, all the time, Gino.
Drew and Kevin, that's very nice, if not true, of you to say. Well, Todd Nelson just walked by us about 15 seconds ago, headed to the bench and hoping to do what Drew said when it comes to holding on to this lead against the opposition, the Buffalo Sabres. And he has done since December 15th when the Oilers decided to make a coaching change. Well, he's just done some really good work when it comes to systems, when it comes to just being a real good people person with the players. Now, during the break, he wanted to take a break. He went to OKC, and he went up to Dallas to watch his son Colton play. Now, Colton plays for the OKC Junior Blazers. Their coach was off to a wedding. So they said, hey, Todd, can you put a suit on and can you coach? And he did. And the team actually trailed 3-0 before they were able to come back and give Todd Nelson his first win with the OKC Junior Blazers. There's a look at Colton. So a nice moment for father and son. And that's the entire story. The full Nelson.
Ah, yes, indeed. Thank you, Gino.
That's why people want more Gene.
That's why he got more votes than Zemgus Girgensons got to be in the All-Star game.
Gene TV.
Gene TV. The Oilers have won 7 games when leading after 40 minutes. They're going to try and make it 8, and they're going to try and beat the Buffalo Sabres for the second time this season. The third period underway. The Oilers have had some struggles with Buffalo here at Rexall Place. They have dropped the last 4 meetings between these two teams, so they've got a 2-1 lead as the third period is underway. Flynn. Out in front it comes. Pass intended for Stafford. Broken up, and Eberle's back the other way. Flips it in. Pouliot glides in after Josh Georges. The puck comes free for Nugent Hopkins. He'll get it to Eberle. Flynn picks it up behind his own net, plays it off the boards. Drew Stafford waiting for it. Checked by Nugent Hopkins. Stepping into a shot is to Keaton. Oh man, did he hammer that one?
Just the outside of the net, just missed on that one.
And we saw in the game against Minnesota a similar setup for him, but his stick shattered.
He can shoot the puck. He can shoot. Ekblom can shoot. Petrie can shoot. And they get a lot of velocity behind it.
Bain to Gordon. Boyd Gordon is checked there by Tyler Ennis. Out there with Molson and Girgensons. This is Girgensons tied up by Nikitin. Molson against Fane now as he plays it back to the point. Waiting for it is Aros. Molson went down. Ristolainen pitching in. He'll get it to Girgensons. Girgensons centering pass. It's picked off by Matt Hendricks. And he missed a hit from Ennis and then took one there from Ristolainen. Ennis. Girgensons. End of the shift, will backhand it in, and then he's going to head off. Buffalo Sabres have lost 12 straight games. They have lost 12 straight games on the road. Their last win on the road was November the 29th. They were in Montreal. Ference to Petrie. Jeff Petrie. The pass to Teddy Burchell. Teddy Burchell down the left side. Drop pass for Roy. It went off of Cody Hodgson and missed the target. This is Hodgson with the puck right now. Hodgson just inside the blue line. Throws it towards the net. Scrivens puts the stick on it. Now Hodgson and Ference will continue to battle behind the net. Stewart in there as well. Derek Roy comes up with 549 games as a member of the Buffalo Sabres. I don't know, maybe round numbers if he played just one more, you got 550 with them. He said it was a little bit nerve-wracking playing him the first time going back into Buffalo, but
weird sitting on the other bench.
Yep.
Weird on the changes because you start going out and you start going into your own zone. You get changed and you never went through anything like this that the Buffalo Sabres are going through now in this 12-game losing streak. The numbers are staggering. Look, the penalty kill and the power play, that hurts you. The goals for and against, I don't even know how to explain it. But I've been through this. I've been through this as an assistant coach of the San Jose Sharks. And Ted Nolan, I think he's probably got the right attitude. We talked about it earlier in the year. Got after his guys.
Absolutely called them out in the press.
Said some non-complimentary things. And now he's kind of backed off of that. They pretty much resigned themselves that this is a full and total rebuild.
14-31-3. They are 4-18-1 on the road. Here's the line to Molson. Gets the puck back again. Off his skate. Left bomb. Moves it ahead to Hendricks. Quick pass for Gordon. Boyd Gordon. Rich shot. Pizarro's got a piece of that and put it up into the netting.
This is the Sports Select Legends comeback kid, and he's proof that sometimes winning just works in your favor.
Get your game on with tools.
When you look at the coaching staff of the Edmonton Oilers now, the one thing that you started to notice on the ice during practice is that a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more playful, a little bit more energy and interaction with the players. It's been fun to watch, but then watching the Buffalo Sabres today, even though they're losing, you saw that as well.
Eberle winds, fires a shot, and that one missed. Nikitin's got it. He'll play it to Eberle. Eberle checked by Josh Georges. Nugent Hopkins going after the puck behind the net, gets it to Eberle. Pouliot in the high slot. But it is Stafford who comes up with it for Buffalo. Plays it off the boards. Out of the reach of Stewart. Pouliot to Eberle. Right down Broadway. Here comes Eberle. Good play by Myers as he got the stick there. Is that a stick or a pole vault?
It is both. For me, it's a pole vault. For him, it was just one very useful defensive tool.
Pouliot drops it back for Petrie. Winds, lets the shot go. Blocked before it could get through. Stewart picks it up on the near side. Stewart will get it to Stafford. He'll backhand it in. And both teams want to get changes. 24-16, the shots favor the Oilers. With 15.5 minutes left to go in regulation time. Teddy Burchell drop pass for Derek Roy. Gets it back again. Now here's Derek Roy with a shot. And getting in the way there was Tyson Strachan. Gianta trying to catch up to that pass. Couldn't do it. Enroth trying to cut off Derek Roy.
Nothing you can do there if you're a player. You can't make body contact with the goaltender because it'll be goalie interference, no matter if the goalie comes out or not.
Petrie blocked that shot from Brian Gianta. Ristolainen. Off the glass. Petrie will pick it up. Sabres making changes. He's got room. Petrie tries to skate it himself. Sends it around the board. Ristolainen will pick it up. Take a hit from Luke Gastic. Fraser comes in. Fraser against Ellis. And now Ristolainen fights them both off. Lander in there to try and help out. Pizarro's turning to get away from Anton Lander, who has 2 assists on the night. Fraser got the Oilers on the board, and Oscar Klefbom has given the team the lead, all the scoring in the first period. The Oilers with 2 goals, 2 minutes and 35 seconds apart, and that has been the difference.
Luke Gastic just got knocked down from behind by Nicholas Deslauriers. Here they go.
Delorier and Gazdic. Exchanging right hands. Luke Gazdic coming over the top. Both jersey jabs. And there is Gazdic with another big right hand. Gazdic's third fight of the season. Delorier trying to tie him up. Now he comes across with a right hand of his own. And for Nicolas Delorier, his fifth fight of the year.
It's going to hurt with the visors on your hands, doesn't it?
Luke Gazdic is 2/3 on his way to the Gordie Howe.
There you are. Here's Luke Gazdic, plays the puck and then gets good ball, not really from behind, kind of on the blind side shoulder. Chop, talk, drop, let's rock and roll. Two very big, very tough individuals. Luke Gazdic with the big smile.
Well, he said he had talked to Chris Stewart, and Stewart didn't want to oblige him. Stewart has fought 5 times this year. He is a willing combatant. But now he is tied with Delorier. Each guy has fought 5 times. Luke Gazdic talking about the fact that he is benefiting from the rolling of 4 lines tonight. You don't want to sit on the bench and think too much.
I think it's great that Luke gets to play because you've got to find out what you've got and what you could have in the future for that young player. That does have some pretty good tools that he brings to the game.
Bain gets the puck in, and Ross gets there ahead of Plakehammer. They're send it around the boards for Innes on the near side. Pass intercepted again by Mark Fane. You talked about Mark Fane and how he is a steady performer, plays just over 18 minutes a game, and that seems to be his comfort zone where he is maxed. We have talked to him about playing more, and he said, you know, you get me up to 22, 23 minutes as Nikitin is down. And trainer TD Force is quickly over there for Nicky Nikitin.
This does not
look good. As you said, he's favoring his shoulder. Nikitin into the boards hard on the check by Girgensons. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back. A reminder to shop at Safeway today. Watch future Sportsnet telecasts. You could win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to a Grand Bahia, Prince Bay resort, courtesy of redtag.ca, where Canada shops for great travel deals. Shop at Safeway today, and you could be our next lucky winner.
Nikita Nikitin, he fumbles the puck a little bit, has to turn towards the boards, and Zemgus Girgensson finishes the check hard, drives Nikita Nikitin into the boards, and Nikita left in quite a bit of discomfort.
Andrew Ferentz is taking his spot right now, along with Mark Fane.
You don't want to see that because Nikita was starting to get his game going again. Starting to be paired with Mark Fane. It was settled. His game was starting to get back to what he used to be in Columbus, and now it's sad to see him come off the ice like that.
Third time he's been hurt this season. Puck sitting there. Flynn reaching for it. Gianta, Mitchell, and Flynn. Pouliot plays it off the boards. Can't get it by Strachan. Strachan keeps it in for Mitchell. Mitchell right out in front it comes. It goes by Flynn. Weber plays it off the end boards. Gianta's got it. Ryan Gianta. His centering pass doesn't make it through. Flynn right through the blue paint. This is Weber with it. His shot blocked. Mitchell comes up with it. Mitchell gave it away. Pouliot right up the middle. Benoit Pouliot in by himself. Pouliot backhand. Stopped by Enroth. Benoit Pouliot, 10 goals on the season and 7 points in his last 7 games. Safford, Fraser, intercepted that pass intended for Hodgson. An opportunity now for Anton Lander. Lander scores! Anton Lander! His first goal in 65 games has given the Oilers a 3-1 lead.
Two dynamite opportunities, and one gets finished for the Oilers. First of all, Benoit Pouliot, nice job. Pushes the puck ahead. Why? So he can get more speed and beat Strachan. Goes to the back end. Nice save by Enroth. He gets across easily. Bad change. Watch the bench for the Buffalo Sabres. Just going to see it in the corner. Bad change. This allows the 2-on-0. Well executed. Not too many passes. It's one pass and back, and it's in the net. Anton Lander having himself a whale of a game.
His third point of the season, and first time in his career he has had 3 points in a game of the National Hockey League.
Todd Nelson called that this morning. Talking about Anton Lander, how impressed he's been with Lander and how his game is starting to transfer to that NHL speed. Lander has looked great tonight.
Danny Burkle with 15 assists on the year.
Personal scored by Lander, the assist personal at 7:52.
7:52, the time of the goal. The Oilers have some insurance. Myers' long shot. He fired that one. Now all the way back down into Buffalo territory. Nugent Hopkins. Here's Yakupov behind the net, spinning. Back to the point he comes. Andrew Ference lets it go through traffic. Traffic provided there by Pouliot. Pouliot with Roy and Yakupov. Ference will give it to Derek Roy. Ference's shot, and that one goes just wide. Pouliot against Mazaros. Ennis behind the net, under pressure there from Derek Roy. Molson flips it high for Girgensons. Cut off there by Ference. And we've got prizes to give away. William Russell of Grand Prairie shopped at Safeway on behalf of Safeway and Ocean Spray Cocktails. You have won the Lagostina 10-piece cookware set on the goal by Anton Lander.
The Oilers just strike back, and Anton Lander's in one pass. Look at when he gives the pass up, and he doesn't turn away from the play. He's got to stick back down on the ice, and he knows exactly what Teddy Purcell's going to do with it. That's a smart play by Lander and an excellent pass by Purcell.
And you can see the joy and the reaction and the celebration from Anton Lander.
We saw a 2-on-0 earlier this year that didn't quite get executed as nicely as you'd like to see that one, but that play with Anton Lander gives, I love the fact you watch a guy, he gives the puck up, and from that angle, he gets a stick down on the ice, he gets a heavy stick, so just in case it gets hacked, he can still direct it to the net, and he gets it up. He doesn't try to put it on the ice, he wants to finish and finish strong with a high shot.
Anton Lander's last goal was January 17th, 2012. But he's on the board, and the Oilers have a 3-1 lead. They have fired 27 shots at Jonas Enroth. No icing. Weber taken to the boards there by Klinkhammer. Tracker goes right up the middle. Mitchell pass for Gianta, broken up by Justin Schultz. Petrie to Nugent Hopkins. Ryan Nugent Hopkins dishes to Eberle. Drop pass for Pouliot. Pouliot. Toe drag off the end of his stick. Eberle picks it up. Pouliot from the corner. Back to the point it comes. Jeff Petrie waiting for it there. He'll give it to Nugent Hopkins. To Pouliot. Benoit Pouliot. Petrie plays it into the corner. Nugent Hopkins picks it up behind the net. Justin Schultz jumping up there. Here's Eberle centering it right out in front. Nugent Hopkins shot is over top of the net. Pouliot picks it up there. Oilers with good pressure here as Drew Stafford, though, plays it off the board for Cody Hodgson. Can't get by Schultz. Nugent Hopkins touch pass to Eberle. Eberle with a wrist shot, and he rang that one off the iron. Jordan Eberle coming close to his 13th goal of the season.
Just a shimmy shake to get himself that shot to the net.
Eberle with 2 points in his last 3 games coming in. Under 9 minutes left to go in regulation time. Tyler Ennis with speed. Girgensons against Maine. Girgensons behind the net, gets double teamed. This is Molson back to the point. This delighted shot. And it's shot down in front by Ference. Maine drops it back for Andrew Ference. The Oilers down to 5 defensemen in the absence of Nikita Nikitin. Ristolainen. Mazaros. Flipped in by Ennis. Schultz gathers it up behind his own net. Under pressure there from Matt Molson. Gets it to Matt Hendricks around the boards. Pouliot waiting for it. He's given a bump. Boy Gordon comes back. Head up. They'll give it to Schultz. Quickly to Hendricks. Cross ice for Pouliot. Pouliot in a race with Mike Weber. Pouliot from the corner. Finds Hendricks. Hendricks drops it back to Schultz. He'll go to Gordon. Pouliot. Hendricks in front of it, just off the end of his stick. Hendricks back at the blue line, keeps the puck in. This is Strachan. Dishes to Mitchell. Mitchell goes cross ice, picked up by Flynn. He is checked, and Derek Roy is on his horse across the blue line with Yakupov. Roy with a nice move, centers it, and it's cleared away by Josh Georges. Eddie Burchell gets it to Yakupov. Yakupov comes to Ferentz. Ferentz cross ice, Yakupov, Petrie steps into a shot, and that one goes just wide. Gianta picks it up on the near side. He'll get it to Cody Hodgson. Hodgson across the blue line. Chip pass for Drew Stafford. Stafford throws it towards the net on a sharp angle, scrimmage to save. Petrie avoids Chris Stewart. Up the middle for Derek Roy. Roy. Purcell. His shot blocked. Another opportunity. Stopped by Enrod. Purcell from the corner. Danny Purcell comes to Clefbaum. Clefbaum to the middle for Purcell. Turns, gets it back to Fane. Down low for Yakupov. Yakupov with a spin move. Good recover there by Ristolainen. Yakupov hangs onto it. Nice move to get away from Stafford. Back to the point to Clefbaum. Clefbaum winds, fires a shot, and that one goes wide. Oilers making changes. Nugent Hopkins on the ice now. Lazaros to Hodgson. Sabres need a change. Hodgson just sends it slowly in, but Clefbaum intercepts it. And the Oilers come right back with Everman. Drop pass for Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins throws it towards the net, and a bad save by Enrod.
Right, Buffalo committing some errors in the neutral zone. The Oilers are more than happy to take that to transition, some chances on net.
Pouliot putting pressure on Lazaros. Pouliot again to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins. Petrie fires a shot. Enrod the save. The puck bounces straight up. Gergensen to Ennis. Ennis checked by Pouliot. Molson gives it right back to Ennis. Ennis. Spin. Cross ice. Strachan hopped over his stick. Pouliot and Strachan come together. The Sabres able to keep the puck in. Molson to Gergensen. Checked by Nugent Hopkins. Petrie takes a look. The Sabres making changes. 30 shots for the Oilers. That is 82 shots combined so far in 2 games against the Sabres. Fraser to Lander. Back to Fraser. Fraser's shot blocked. And that hurt Myers. Myers still on his knees. Purcell with a puck. Teddy Purcell. Fane. Wrist shot. Up high for Enrod. Fraser looking for the rebound. Purcell's got it. Teddy Purcell to Andrew Ferentz. Ferentz down low for Fraser. Hops over his stick. Myers in trouble still. Flynn. Well, backhanded, and Myers trying, but he is down and hurt. Rogers, Oilers hockey, right here on Sportsnet, right off the ankle. Results brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
A terrific effort this time by Andrew Ferentz. He saves the goal as Torrey Mitchell is working off the boards on the shot and the scramble. That's going to go in if Torrey Mitchell gets there first. He does it because of Andrew Ferentz's dive, knocking the puck away and preventing the tying goal for the Sabres.
Tyler Myers has gone to the dressing room. Nikita Nikitin also in the Oilers dressing room. So each team losing a blue liner. 4 minutes and 34 seconds left to go. 3-1 the score. The Oilers with 31 shots. They have held the Sabres to just 17.
Won this period.
Chipped in by Stewart. Clefbaum will get to it. Clefbaum off the boards, intended for Lander. Stafford against Clefbaum. Through Stafford from the corner. Stafford turns behind the net for Stewart. Stewart to Stafford. Stafford back to Stewart. Back to the point. Lazaros moves to the middle. He'll give it to Stewart. Stewart intercepted by Fraser. And Fraser across the blue line. Fraser sets the shot up high. Gordon trying to keep it in on the near side blue line. Strachan comes up with it. He'll give it to Lazaros. Back to Tyson Strachan. Strachan to Tyler Ennis. Ennis over skates. Klinkhammer gets it to Gordon. Boyd Gordon along with Hendricks. They get stopped just inside the blue line. Ennis will give it to Gergensen. Get the puck right back again. Ennis centering pass for Molson broken up. Ennis to Josh Georges. Georges will have to do a little skating to catch up to that. Georges, wrist to line, flips it, chases it. Petrie gets there first. Klefbom around the boards, waiting for it. Benoit Pouliot. He'll give it to Petrie. Nugent Hopkins around Ennis. Pass to Jordan Eberle. Broke it up. A chance for Pouliot. Pouliot with a shot. Rebound in front. Eberle looking for it. Nugent Hopkins in the corner. Gergensen. Wrist to line. Back to Georges. Hops over his stick. Eberle right on it. Back to the point. Klefbom. Nice job to keep it in. Knock that bouncing puck down. Eberle to the middle. Nugent Hopkins with a shot. That is blocked. Nugent Hopkins, another chance, and he put it wide. Ristolainen hurt on that play as well.
Boy, they block a lot of shots. You've got to credit the Buffalo Sabres defense. They are willing to go down and block shots. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has a chance. Jordan Eberle finds him in the slot as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins makes himself available. Smart players will find a little bit of space. That was just the second chance after the first opportunity was blocked by Ristolainen. 21 blocks so far tonight by the Buffalo Sabres. And Ristolainen gets Jordan Eberle with a shot to the chops. Looks like he's okay.
Matt Fraser along with Anton Lander both enjoying 3-point nights. Had an assist on Anton Lander's goal at 7:52 of the third period to Matt Fraser.
Well, Tyler Myers, another big building block for the Buffalo Sabres. Guys that they'll move forward with. Right there, it doesn't look like that hard of a shot. But first of all, it's Matt Fraser shooting it, who can really shoot it. Second, it gets him on the inside of the left ankle. And zero protection there, even though the skates are pretty well protected nowadays. It doesn't look like he's wearing the shot blockers. And those sting right on the bone.
Nikita Zadorov is available to play. He was suspended by the team for missing a flight to get back and missing a practice after the All-Star break. So I think his suspension is going to come off, a team-imposed suspension at just the right time. They're in Vancouver tomorrow.
And Ted Nolan talked about it. He said it's a good learning experience for the young man. You don't need to beat him up over it. He knows now to make better arrangements.
He's another big guy, 6'5", 220 pounds.
Very large.
Ference with a shot that goes just wide. Just over 2 minutes left to go in this one. Gergensen, drop pass for Gianna, steps into a shot. Scrivens the save, big rebound, Ristolainen puts it home.
What a bounce back shift.
Rasmus Ristolainen
takes a shot, blocks it, it hurts, it stings. What does he do? Comes right back, joins the rush, scores a big goal to bring this game within one. Again, you work along the boards, get to it first. Nice little move to gain the exit out of the zone, and then it's just real simple. Get a shot on net, attack the net, get people there. Ristolainen, the defenseman, Brian Giunta up there on the play. Gergensen's up on the play, and Ristolainen just shovels it underneath Ben Scrivens. Big rebound, second opportunity, put away by Ristolainen, and also knocks Ben Scrivens into the net.
His fourth goal of the season and first in his last 12. The Oilers had complained that Ristolainen had flattened Ben Scrivens, but the referee said no, the puck was already in the net.
No doubt about that when you saw it on the replay. As a big man going to the net hard, pretty tough if you're not in front of him early.
A first-round draft pick in 2013. He was taken 8th overall. It's a 3-2 game. That was the score back on November the 7th. Enroth is headed to the bench. The net empty. Under 2 minutes left to go. Hendricks pushes it into the offensive zone. Ristolainen to Mitchell. Giunta and Gergensen get the assist. Here's Pouliot trying to fight off Mike Weber. And a penalty on the way. It's going to be holding. With a $1:31 left to go, the Oilers will be on the power play.
This is Mike Weber. It's a tough situation for Weber because he's in body position, and then he just reaches out with the left hand and grabs Benoit Pouliot. If he doesn't, Benoit Pouliot's probably away to the races, and it's in the net. So it's a gamble that Weber had to take, and the referee caught him.
And look who's out there on this power play. Anton Lander.
Rewarded for good play.
Third power play for the Oilers. Lander with the puck now. Lander along with Teddy Purcell. And Benoit Pouliot. Pouliot has it hop over his stick, but Lander carries on. Anton Lander backtracked there by Zemgus Girgensons.
Be smart here. Be patient with the puck.
Pouliot back up top for Petrie. Steps into a slap shot. Hidroth got a piece of that. Less than a minute to go in this one. Purcell gathers it up in no hurry. Arch behind the net. Gionta and Mitchell, two offensive players on the penalty kill. Petrie works it over to Hendricks. Hendricks going to play a little four corners like the old days before a shot clock in college basketball. Killing time. Trying to snap a two-game losing streak here at Rexall. Gionta drops it back for Mitchell. Ristolainen tripped up there by Hendricks. Enroth has gone to the bench. Scrivens has to touch it with 9.1 seconds left to go.
Face-off will be in the Oilers zone. Penalty coming up to the Oilers. And the Buffalo bench is yelling, give him the puck, give him the puck, give him the puck, because 9 seconds left. You want to get the face-off. Matt Hendricks in the neutral zone. Gets the stick out, takes out his man. Ristolainen, down he goes, and into the penalty box goes Matt Hendricks. A very intriguing last few seconds here. Face-off guy.
Boyd Gordon is ninth in the league in face-offs. He'll be going up against Girgensons.
Too many guys on the ice for the Buffalo Sabres right now. There's 6. We're going to have 5 with Weber in the penalty box.
So it's 5-on-4 with a net empty for Buffalo. Girgensons wins the draw. Gionta at the point, throws it towards the net, deflected, pad save by Scrivens. Scrivens, a huge save right here at the end of the game to preserve a 3-2 victory for the Edmonton Oilers. And the Buffalo Sabres have now lost 13 straight games in regulation.
That is not how many you make, but when do you make them? And right here, Ben Scrivens makes a huge save. Win the draw. It's just a shot that goes to net, gets deflected. What a nice deflection by Tyler Ennis, but a beauty left kick by Ben Scrivens. Wow.
Ben Scrivens wins his 9th game of the season. The Oilers have now got 13 victories on the year. The play of the game is brought to you by Rogers. Live like never before.
It was the 2-goal lead that turned out to be the game-winning goal. Take advantage of the bad change and a good situation transition in the neutral zone. Terrific pass by Teddy Purcell to Anton Lander, who jacks it upstairs. Anton Lander gives the puck up, gets the stick back down, wants it back, and when he gets it back, he finishes with no mistake.
Anton Lander, a 3-point night and a huge part of the Oilers' victory over the Sabres. 3-2, the final here at Rexall.